So YouTube Pewsily here, another deck profile. This is what I took to UK Nationals. I'll probably put up some sort of report or something later if you want to, but it's Dark World, which has, it's quite hard to explain. It's elements of the turbo, but also it's very anti-meta at the same time. So I'll run through and explain card choices as I go, but it worked very nicely. So here we go. You've got the triple 3 Grapha, because Grapha here. Inside joke, but yeah, 3 Grapha, he's basically just a 3000 attack Treeborn Frog. That's what we're going to use him for in this deck. You sort of save him in your hand if you can, discard him, pop a back row, bounce him back, 3k to the face. And you've got triple Brow, he's going to be a tour guide target for when you need it. Makes Dark Dealings Destiny Draw, and it makes Gates Pot of Greed, so he's fun. And he's also good because if you don't have Gates on the field and you can summon him, they can't bottomless. Your opponent can't really bottomless, so they sort of have to warning, but yeah, there's that. Anyway, then 3 Snow. Snow's probably my favourite one because it just adds to the consistency. If you discard Snow, draw 1, you then search with Snow for whatever else you need to go to your hand, whether it be a discard outlet with dealings or gates, or a monster, so you can get another Snow, for instance. And then you have the last outlet monster is Beige. Reason for Beige is you can normal summon him, bounce with Grapha, discard him, special summon, bounce with Grapha. And it's not unheard of to get 3 Graphas out in one turn just because of Beige. You can't do it with like gold and silver and stuff, but you can do it with Beige. So this deck's all about speed. You can't afford to sit with a gold or a silver waiting in your hand. You need to apply the Grapha pressure quickly. The last 3 monsters, there are very few monsters in this, are triple Tour Guide. So almost always what you're going to do is Tour Guide into Tour Guide, overlay for Leviair, and then get back when you banish Dark Worlds to bounce with Grapha. If you don't have anything banished, then you're going to Tour Guide probably into Brow, bounce the Burrow for Grapha. But Tour Guide overall is good. If you do have a Tour Guide in hand, or you've got a skill drain, it's not too bad. Discard it for Gates, get that draw off of it, power through and get something that is a Dark World monster. So never a dead draw. Onto the spells, you got your 3 Gates. It's just staple. It's going to just help you power through your deck. The big thing this deck uses it for as well is the 300 attack boost. With Chaos Dragons so big in the meta now, Grapha being at 3000 attack rather than 2.7 is so good. Being able to just have a Grapha sat there and go, come at me Red Eyes, come at me, is the key thing with that one. So protect the gates. And the turbo elements come in here. So you've got your 3 dealings and 3 dragged. So power through your deck. If you open with like 2 drag downs, you just wreck your opponent's day. They cry on the inside. So searchable with Snow, get it whenever you can. Open with it, win. So yeah, you discard outlets to drop what you need in the grave, power through to grab your Grapha, and the draw afterwards just helps you again power through and get the skill drain that you need. Foolish Burial, again the turbo aspect, you need to set up Grapha as quickly as you can. Allure of Darkness, same thing. Draw through, it's the generic draw power that's going to help you again search through for skill drain, but it can also banish something to special summon it back with the Tour Guide into Leviair play for Grapha. And then lastly, card destruction, open with it and win. Then you've got staples, Reborn, Dark Hole and Storm. Even though you're running a lot of back row, you can't drop Storm, it's too good. And then right, again, like I say, more turbo aspects of it you need to set up quickly. Is 3 Reckless, all in Starfoil, which looks quite pretty if you can see. So yes, Reckless is good. Just the instant +1 as well. The deck is quite old school in the fact that it works on building advantage, so every single plus is useful. And then it comes a bit more awesome. You've got Skill Drain. If you haven't seen an Ultra, it looks very nice. So yeah, the Skill Drain in this meta is amazing. You Skill Drain a Red Eyes. Hi, Grapha's bigger than you. Skill Drain Rabbit, they can't do anything. Skill Drain Inzectors, they can't do anything. Skill Drain is amazing right now. So this deck plays Protect the Skill Drain. You get Skill Drain as quick as you can, which is why I'm considering running 3, and then that and Grapha beat down. So to help play Protect the Skill Drain, you've got 2 Dark Bribe. Now, haters going to hate, but you're going to say, oh, it's a -1, blah blah blah. In Turbo, you don't care. What's your opponent going to do when you've got this? come at me, especially if you've got a Gates. You've got a 3k beat stick that you can't use effects to get over, and you're protecting it. What is your opponent going to do? There's nothing in the meta that can get over that. Nothing at all, I promise you. So 2 Dark Bribes. And then adding more to the anti-meta fill, you've got mained bottomlesses. If you test normal Dark World builds, or if you test turbo builds a lot, Chaos Dragons really wreck the build. So this helps with that a lot. So that's what it's in there for. And because obviously, if you listen to like Claudio Kirchmere, you go a lot of turns without doing a lot, so it helps to stall. And that's what the Torrential's in there for as well. You can open with a Torrential, wait like 2 turns, and then Torrential an entire field to save you, and then explode the next turn. So it buys you so many turns. And then lastly, just the staple sort of Solemn Judgment. So, yeah, as I was saying, Grapha with Skill Drain and a Bribe is awesome. It's what you aim for. These 4 cards on the field and you've won. That's your win condition right there. You got your Bribe to protect the Heavy Storm or maybe MST if they target this. This is just going to negate everything, and this makes Grapha bigger than anything. You don't even care about Dark Hole. You're just going to bring Grapha back next turn. Doesn't matter what they do to Grapha. The Dark Bribe is in here to protect these 2. This is to protect Grapha from monster effects, and this is to protect Grapha from bigger monsters. So there's nothing bigger than 3k, and there's nothing that's going to get over this. This is such a lock at the moment, it's brilliant. So that's what you aim for when you're running the deck, and obviously with all the turbo aspects you can pull that off really quickly. The extra deck's not really all that exciting, it's just a lot of rank 3s, so I go for double Leviathan. Yeah, you can see it's Leviathan. The reason for that is obviously first turn tour guide, so you can dump some material in the grave for gates, and then you've got 1 Zen mains. So like I said before, you can stall a lot with it. If you open with a bad hand, you sit behind a Zen mains like a Torrential or something, and Zen mains wins. Then you've got double Leviaire, because you're going to be banishing a lot of gates. You bring it back and then bounce a Grapha, so you keep your Dark World monsters. Because you run so few, Leviaire is really key, so when you banish them, you get them back, so you shouldn't really be running out. 1 Giga Brilliant, I never used it all day at Nats, but it's nice to have the option. And Giga Brilliant is always good in any form of mirror match. So, like if I went against a Darkwood mirror, I would go into it and make my Grapha 3/3. I'm like, come at me! So yeah. And then you've got all the Djinns, because they're all Fiend. So they all do really good things. You've got the double attacker, which goes to 1700 on the gates, so you can attack for 3/4. And you got this bad boy, so you can detach materials, mostly for Zen mains or Utopia and wreck stuff. And this guy who can double his attack when he attacks. So he's normally at 15, but he goes to 18 under gates, so he can double up to 3/6. So it's all about brute force. You got a Steel Storm Roach, because it goes to 2/2 under gates because it's a fiend, and it wrecks Chaos Dragons. And then just generic rank 4s Utopia. And to fill in the gaps, you got the staple sort of synchros really: Black Rose, Bryonac, Stardust, and Catasta. So there we are. It does really well. It's brutally fast, and side decking is incredibly hard. I would warn if you're going to run it. What I did was doing all day long was side out the Reckless Greeds, and then side in, and then you probably side out something like Foolish Burial and Allure, and maybe Monster Reborn, because if you're going against stuff like Rabbit and Insectors and stuff a lot, they're always going to be siding in Macro or D-Fissure. So you can side out the Foolish Burial and the Reborn really easily, and you can side out the Reckless Greeds really easy as well. So, yay, side deck tips. So, anyway, rate, comment, subscribe. As always, peace out.